Hi there guys, Sam here, welcome back to another video. You join me once again in my Mark 7 Golf R to talk about whether or not you should buy a Mark 8 GTI Clubsport today. So let's get straight into this video. So yes, welcome back to another video. Hope everyone is all well. Now, following on a little bit from my should you buy a Mark 8 Golf R, this is kind of a continuation on that around the GTI Clubsport. I've done a lot of videos recently kind of around where the market is and whether or not it's worth kind of going for, and it's basically just a free bit of advice. That's kind of what I'm trying to do at the moment. You know, it's up to you whether or not you take it, but hopefully it just gives you a different perspective and it gives you a different way of thinking if you're looking to buy a certain car. And again, like, share, subscribe, it does obviously help the channel out. Now, the Mark 8 GTI Clubsport, I've fortunately had a chance to drive the car from a subscriber. Really great drive, and I couldn't stop smiling after it. Absolutely loved it. It was a boiling hot day and it was brilliant. Now, should you buy one today? Now, I've kind of said that maybe the Mark 8 Golf R might not be the right place. It's quite fresh on the market. Potentially its best abilities come in the winter. Now, the Mark 8 GTI Clubsport, I'm going to straight away and go on a completely different tangent, because I actually think now is probably a good time to go for one, simply because I'd had a little check on Auto Trade and I had a little look to see what the prices are today. And I remember checking about a couple of months ago and I was sort of like, oh yeah, that's not too bad, that's not too bad. These sort of range around sort of like the low 30s. You're sort of looking like 31, 32,000, but nothing went sort of above sort of like 36. And there was quite a few on there, and obviously as you got higher up, you get like bigger wheels, and you get, you don't have to stick with the Richmond alloys, the classic sort of GTI. Almost looks like it's slicing things off for the way it's kind of shaped, and obviously not too expensive for what you get. You are getting basically a Golf R engine in some ways. I know it's a few horsepower down, but because you save like 90 kilos on weight by just having front wheel drive, on the move it's just as fast. And trust me, it was a load of fun. And actually the owner has been keeping me up to date, and they've actually managed to get 50 mpg out of a journey, which is ridiculous. Trust me, I'll never get 50 mpg. I mean, unless I really tried. The best I've got sort of is like 46, 47, and that was trying quite hard, I have to say. So yeah, to get 50 is brilliant. So it's got the both sides of it. You're never going to get that sort of economy in an R, and it's just down to the weight, really. That's the main reason for it. So price wise, the GTI Clubsport is actually looking quite good, and I think it does help that it's been sort of like knocking around for a little bit longer. I think it helps that it's been popular. I think reviews for it have all been great. I don't think I've seen anything bad about it. I think I saw one, I think it was from Seen Through Glass, and he wasn't too keen on it, but he's never really been too keen on golfs anyway. I think other than that, I haven't seen a bad review out of it, and certainly from the video that I did, so check up there from how I sort of found it, or my sort of first drive, first impressions, first time sitting in it, I really liked it. I think the only kind of criticism I have over both of them, which is maybe it's with the car, because the owner did mention they needed some software issues and updates, was the dual clutch gearbox. I was expecting a little bit better with the paddles, and yeah, it was just a bit confused. Maybe it's just me being a manual man, but I wasn't massively impressed on that side. But hey, it's all software updates to sort those things out, so let's just see. So for like £32,000 to get a few thousand miles to get a GTI Clubsport is really good, and I think that's helping because obviously you get such competitive like lease deals, and your monthlies are quite good and all this kind of stuff. Now, I have to say, I mean, I checked through all of your comments as well, and it's been brilliant last couple of weeks as well, particularly. And I will kind of go in more in depth in terms of like, around the car market. I've got a little bit of a series of why people are selling their cars at the moment. I think I'm going to continue that on Monday. And yeah, so stay tuned for that if you want to check that out, and check out videos that I've done on that from the link above. And I think people need to understand that in some ways, you can look at the monthly figures and thinking, oh yeah, that's quite good, £350 a month or whatever it is. But you kind of got to look at the bigger package, particularly if you're getting a lease deal. At the end of the agreement, you've got no value left. You're spending all your money. If you're doing it on like PCP, what's your deposit, what's your APR, and all this stuff. And a lot of thing on Auto Trader, I was seeing that, and it was like 6.9%. It's quite high. 6.9% of whatever you owe, it's a lot of money. It does add up on a car that is going to depreciate. So that's where I just want people to be careful. This is probably a channel which you're not going to see from other car channels, because I want you to have as much money as you can. I don't want you to, I want you to enjoy your cars. You can see I'm passionate about cars. I know a lot of you guys are as well. And, I don't want you getting screwed over with something that's quite expensive. So, you know, to kind of get in at the right point is quite good. Also, one thing I should say is engines, the CA888 engine, they can sometimes take 20, 30,000 miles plus before they're fully bed in and you're actually kind of getting like max power. So I don't think you need to get a brand spanking new car all the time. And actually these ones with a couple of thousand miles on is quite nice. It means you can kind of hit the ground running a little bit more. On the GTI Clubsport kind of side of things, I was checking out the standard GTI because I was like, if you can get a GTI Clubsport sort of like 31, 32,000, how much can you get a standard GTI? It's been out a little bit longer. And I saw one for just over £28,000. Had a couple of thousand miles, I think it's about 8,000 miles. And I was checking for a few of them. They were all sort of, yeah, they were sort of steady around the 30s. Which is pretty good for such a Q car, such an iconic do-everything car. And a lot of those were DSG as well. They weren't the manual. So obviously you pay a little bit more, 1,500 quid or whatever it is for a DSG. Some of them had the Richmond alloys. Some of them had the upgraded like 19-inch Adelaide alloys, I think they're called. You can actually get Esterals as well on those. And I actually think that represents really, really good value. Reviews haven't exactly been blowing people away, but I think for normal people, which as I've said before loads of times, there are a lot more normal people out there who just want a car. That is a car that you could really go for and really be happy with. And something that as an enthusiast, I would look at and be like, they've kind of nailed it there. You know, imagine having something like that and then having something sporty as a second car. It'd be absolutely brilliant. So that's always quite cool. And I actually saw one in, I think it's Atlantic Blue. And it looks really, really good. And I was like, wow, the colour kind of really does make a car. And yeah, it's quite interesting. Kind of struck me on that one as well. So I kind of thought I'd kind of put that on there as well. Now I'm using Auto Trader as my comparison because Auto Trader is a good way to see this current time of a market. You've got to bear in mind, however these dealers or whoever are getting these in, whether it's ex-demonstrators or from people who just have got rid of a car for a couple of months or less than a year for whatever reason, they obviously would have bought it at a slightly lower price and then they're doing their price to kind of stick it on. So say like a GTI for sale at 29,950, whoever's got it has probably got it for about 26,000. So it's getting into sort of decent, nice figures. So if you are looking for a GTI Clubsport, I would say now might be the time to strike, particularly with all that's going on, particularly where we are in the world. And the biggest thing in the UK, it's summer. You know, it's really, really hot now, which is great. I'm actually running a half marathon on Sunday, and it's supposed to be 27 degrees, which is really, really hot. Great for front wheel drive cars to get those tyres up to temperature. You know, you can just have so much fun in the dry. So yeah, if you're looking at getting one, now might be the time to pounce. Particularly the way used car prices are going up. I know this is a used car, but it's a kind of different story because cars obviously take quite a big hit as soon as they leave the forecourt. You know, it's a £37,000 car list, apparently. So to see some up for sort of 32,000 with less than 4,000 miles, I think is really, really good. And as you've probably possibly seen from a review of mine, I think it's a great car and a great little thing to get into. I do love the GTIs. I love the Club Sports. I speak a lot about the 45 edition as well. I think that's going to be a great car. Well, I know it's going to be a great car because I've driven its identical car. But obviously with all the options sort of included and sort of like maybe the limited number, Acro exhaust kind of does add to it. So it's really, really cool. So yeah, that's my advice at this current time. And I hope you enjoyed kind of seeing how things are in the market. You know, let me know your thoughts in the comments if you've got one, thinking of getting one. I know people are sometimes a little bit divided between the R and the GTI Clubsport, but I do see a place for both of them for different sets of people as well. And yeah, and stay tuned for a future video because I've got I'm going to continue the series on why is everyone selling their car, because I think your comments in those have been absolutely fascinating and brilliant. I kind of want to share that on the channel and sort of bring the whole community kind of feel together really. So yeah, that's it. Great car, can thoroughly recommend. And I think if you're looking at it, and we're in sort of what 10th of June 2021, yeah, I'd say take a punt, go for one. You know, particularly if one's there and ready to go on a dealer forecourt, get stuck in. You know, you only live once. I think you'll have a bigger smile on your face if you do get one sort of 4,000 or 5,000 miles old, if that makes sense, because you can save in sort of like the long run on the fact that that car's lost a bit of money in the first place. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you've got a Mark 8 GTI Clubsport, let people know how you found it in the comments below. I think that they'll find that really, really useful actually. And yeah, if you've got a great deal on it, there's so many different places you can get great deals on. And actually, I think, yeah, I'm going to share it a little bit more in the next video. But yeah, a few companies being a bit sneaky actually on trying to get money off us. So I want to... It's a people channel, it's a community channel, and yeah, I want to share my thoughts with you lot on that one and see what you think. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I've generally talked about sort of like VW Golf stuff, as you can probably tell. Check out other content if you enjoy it, particularly at this time. I think the market is absolutely fascinating, and I think if you're ready to pounce on a car, or if you're thinking of selling a car, probably worth checking out my channel and seeing what sort of normal people think, rather than someone who's ultimately just after that conveyor belt of selling you a car and then forgetting about it and selling the next car. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.